Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hi, my name is Krishnan. I'll be doing the Hindu news analysis for the day. These are the 5 articles that we'll be seeing for the day. And finally, we'll see previous year questions since prelims is around the corner. Let us move on to the first article. This article talks about the Northeast region and the kind of impact that it can have while connecting South Asia and Southeast Asia. Let us go into the article. So why is this in news? Because recently, third India-Japan intellectual dialogue was hosted by Tripura. So where was it hosted? It was hosted in Tripura, and it was hosted by Asian Confluence. It's an think tank. So what did they talk about? They talked about using Northeast to connect South Asia with Southeast Asia. So why Northeast assumes significance? Because dramatic changes have happened in this region over the last few decades. So what are the main challenges? Security challenge, right? So you see these areas, initially you had a lot of insurgencies in this area, right? You had the Ulfa separatists, you had the Naga militants. All these problems, to some extent, to a great extent, they have been overcome. So if security challenges have been overcome, next what we will do? We will obviously go for economic development. So the author is telling this region, that is the Northeast region, is ready for economic development, and political changes also have been very helpful. Now what he is telling, Northeast is also very well linked with Bangladesh. So what he is telling, in this current decade, we have overcome security challenges, political changes also have been helpful. So what we should do? Bangladesh, India, that is the northeastern part of India, and Japan, we all should come together and take this region to the next level. That is infrastructure and connectivity, everything should go to the next level. So what are the vision and opportunities we have? See, in Bangladesh, we are developing a very important port. So what is the port called? It is called the Matarbari Deep Sea Port. So you see Bangladesh, this is where Bangladesh is. So you see how close it is with India, that is the northeastern part of India, and you see how they are connected to the rest of Southeast Asia. So Bangladesh and Northeast assumes significance. So what is this project is called? It is called the Matarbari Deep Sea Port. So the Matarbari Deep Sea Port is in Bangladesh. How they are building it? They are building it with Japanese assistance. Generally, you know, right? Whenever any scheme that is happening in Northeast India and in areas surrounding those places, generally Japan only will do. So what ASCON, what is this think tank ASCON is telling is this port is a game changer. Why? Because it will not just help Bangladesh, it will help both Bangladesh and Northeast and part of India. Initially, it will cater to the needs of Northeast India and Bangladesh. But what is the long-term vision? This will make Bangladesh and Northeast India industrial corridor of this region. So there are a lot of industrial corridors, right? You have the Mumbai Ahmedabad industrial corridor, Bangalore Chennai industrial corridor. These are all very famous industrial corridors generating employment and income for the country. Like that, this part of the country also will become a key industrial corridor. And see, it is expected to serve 220 million people. So what is Japan's ambassador saying? See, we are developing all this infrastructure, port, everything is okay, but we should create industries also. That is what he means by industrial value chains. So if we are building ports, roads, everything is fine, but we'll have to give importance for building industries also. So he's telling we have to industrialize in Northeast, where certain regions already have advantages, right? So he's telling we'll have to industrialize those places first. So what conclusion they have come to this think tank? Roads and port will lead to economic opportunities. Because of that, job creation will be there, and industries must be set up, because only industries can create jobs, right? How are you going to do those industries? National and international players. So FDI and Tatas and Ambanis, so they can also invest, and international investment also should be allowed. So what is telling? So this comprehensive connectivity and industrialization of Bangladesh and Northeast is the top priority right now. Why Northeast is a best destination? Because it is already blessed with natural resources. It has strategic location. You see in the map, you see the strategic location. So that is why Northeast becomes very important. So you see Northeast is here, very important strategic location. See how many countries it is connecting us to. So that is why we are telling Northeast has strategic location. You see it has border with Nepal, Bhutan, China, Bangladesh and Myanmar. So many countries it has border with. And what is very important is the population there. No, it already has good education levels. So their human capacity, human capital is already good because literacy is there. So the author is telling we should focus on diverse industries. What are those diverse industries? Agro processing, man-made fibers, handicraft, two-wheeler assembly, mobile phones and even pharmaceuticals. All these are possible because the human capital of the Northeast is already good. So he's telling you focus on these areas and develop value chains, industrial value chains you develop in these sectors. Like that the author is telling. But what are the challenges? Whenever we have opportunities, there will be challenges also. No, what are the challenges? Right now, India is allowing only Japan in Northeast. So other countries are not allowed. Only Japan is a very trusted close friend. So India, any project in Northeast, India will allow Japan only. So what the author is telling, you all have other countries also. There are a lot of friendly countries. No, let them also invest. And they're telling allow Bangladesh also to invest, because Bangladesh minister, what he said India is asking for connectivity through Bangladesh. We have done a lot of things. We are allowing connectivity, but India is not doing anything in return. So he's telling we have gone behind the 1965 levels. Before 1965, how connectivity used to be between India and Bangladesh, between Northeast and Bangladesh. That level also we have gone. But what India has done, it has done nothing for us. So what they're asking for reciprocity. If Bangladesh is telling through Northeast, we want access to Nepal, Myanmar and Bhutan. So this is what Bangladesh is asking for in return. And what other challenges we are finding is, they are not talking about BIMSTEC at all. See, this entire region, BIMSTEC region, right? They are not focusing on this region as well. They're just focusing on Northeast or Bangladesh. Like that, there is only regional approach. So what the author is telling, there should be region-wise approach. I mean, the entire region, entire BIMSTEC. Then only South Asia as a whole can develop, right? So the author is telling, you are not focusing on BIMSTEC at all when you are talking about these things. He's telling if you take into BIMSTEC into account only, that's the, you see, know this term, sense of Bay of Bengal community. So sense of Bay of Bengal community should be there. That is very important. Like that the author is telling. So next what is telling? So when you do all these things, what will happen? South Asia will be easily connected with Southeast Asia. For that we need leadership. Leadership of whom? He's telling leadership of Bangladesh, India and Japan. So he's calling it BIG Forum. So he's telling only if these three countries come together, we can connect South Asia to Southeast Asia. And initially what we must do, need of the hour is telling you start a BIG Forum at the foreign ministerial level. Let Bangladesh's foreign minister, India's foreign minister and Japan's foreign minister, let them all come together and talk about these things. Then easily we can go to the next stage, next level of talks will go. So the crux of the article is about Northeast India and how it can connect South Asia with Southeast Asia. Now let us move on to the next topic. This topic is about India's population. So you all know India is expected to overtake Chinese population. So a lot of people are being very pessimistic. In fact, they are panicking. But here the author is telling it is good only. So let us see why is he telling this is good. So what is the context? Why is this in news? Because India is overtaking China as the most populous country. So what experts are asking, will it be a demographic dividend? Demographic dividend means will it be a very advantageous thing? Will we become economically good? Will we prosper economically, or is it going to be a demographic disaster? Is it going to be bad? So these are all the questions people are asking. In this article, we are going to analyze what are the costs, what are the negatives and opportunities, what are the good things that are going to come because of us becoming the most populous country in the world. See, generally when there is population growth, what experts and people tend to think is, they think it in a bad way, that is pessimistic. They'll think it in a negative way. But to get a clear picture, we'll have to analyze them at three levels. What is the nature of population growth? What is its size and composition? So size and composition, this is very important. We'll see what it is. And what is the mechanism, how the country is translating the demographic bonus into economic dividend. Whatever is happening in India, we are going to see if this is good or bad using these three mechanisms. Okay, so first, what we should know, population per se is not a burden. Nature of population, size and composition decides that. So population is a good thing only. It is a resource as long as it does not affect carrying capacity. So generally carrying capacity, we learn it in environment, right? But here it's a bit different. So here carrying capacity means not just per capita availability of natural resource. It's dynamic. It's a dynamic capacity. So if there is changing technology, efficiency of production and consumption, all these things you have to take into account and see what is carrying capacity. So now what we should think is, does India have a population size which will affect its carrying capacity? Will its natural resources, will its production and consumption pattern, or the changing technology, all these things, will it be affected because of India's population? The answer is no, because the nature of population growth. So what is the nature of India's population growth? You see total fertility rate. You see it's just 2.0. 2.1 is India's target, but we are at 2.0. So it is a good thing. So what is total fertility rate? Here we have 2.0, which means 2 children will replace their parents. The author is telling, and a lot of experts are telling, this is actually a very good population growth rate. Why is this good? Let us see. Because this is good because it shows we are on the road to stabilization. We'll have positive growth. Our population is going to increase, but the growth will be not very high like how it used to be in the past. And till 2064, we'll have population growth. In 2063, after we reach 170 crores only, our population will stabilize. But what the author is telling is, don't just think 170 crore people are going to be there, 170 crore mouths to feed. Don't think like that. He's telling, look at the age composition. You see what is the working age population and what is the dependent population. You see these numbers are very important. What is working age population? If you are between 15 to 64, your working age population, and your dependent population if you are 0 to 14 years and 65 years and above. So what the author is telling is, if you see the age composition, we can very well tell India is not going to become a demographic disaster. There is going to be demographic dividend only, because he's telling 68% of Indian population is working age population. That is 68% of the population is in the age group of 15 to 64 years. So he's telling, because of this, for the next 35 years, easily we'll get a lot of economic benefits only. So don't be worried about increasing population. Like that is telling. Next is telling, just because we have a young population does not mean automatically it will lead to good things. We need to work on certain things. So what are the 4 things that we should work on? So he's telling demographic dividend should become economic bonus, right? For that, what we should do? Focus on employment, education and skills, health conditions and governance. So the author is telling we should focus on these things, then only we can become an economic powerhouse using our population. So sufficient jobs for working age population. So what is this bulking working age population? Have you seen the pyramid? It will be like this for India. So this bulking is there. No, this is working age people. So for them we'll have to create jobs. No, then only economic dividend will be there. Next, good healthcare should be there. Then only people can work without any disease and disability, because if disease and disability is there, means productivity, efficiency, all these things will come down. So we'll have to focus on these things also. Next, we'll have to skill them. So the healthy workforce should also be skilled. Then only better productivity. If we skill them, then the government does not need to do a lot of public spending. So skilling these people itself is capital creation only. And next, good governance. We should have good conscientious policies that is in favor of, then only there will be healthy environment. So if we focus on these 4 things, then for sure we'll demographic dividend will translate into economic dividend. So what do we say and conclude? In India, we have relatively younger population, less disease, disability and caring burden. We don't have to care for older people because older people are very less. Why we are telling this is, you compare it with countries like US, Japan and China. They have a lot of diseases because older people, disability because older people, and caring youngsters should take care of older people. So they have those policies and all. And they have pro-natalist. Natalism means child. Pro-natalist policies means these countries are encouraging their women to have more children. But what history tells us, once fertility level goes down, it's hard to reverse it. Once people decide to not have kids, whatever incentives you give, they'll not have kids. So the author is telling, when these countries are not having kids, what we can do, we can use it, because in India only there is going to be a lot of people and there is going to be both consumption and production. India is only going to do both these things. So that is telling, already we are seeing it in IT sector, right? Because of cheaper workforce, we are dominating the IT sector in the world. So what the author is telling, GDP boost is going to be there for 43% GDP boost is going to be there by 2061. But he's telling right now our TFR is 2.0, but it should not go less than 1.8. What will happen if we go less than 1.8 is, we'll become old before getting rich. We should get rich and become old like these countries. So Japan and all, after it got rich only it became old, right? So India also should become like that. Already in developed states in Tamil Nadu, in developed states in India like Tamil Nadu, Kerala and all, it has become 1.8, 1.7. So the authors are telling, this is not right. After you get rich, you become less than 8, but now you should maintain it at 2.0 or 2.1. So he's telling, if you want to have all these things, you focus on, we saw this before itself, no? So he's telling, focus on high quality education, good health care, respectable employment opportunities, good infrastructure and gender empowerment, because both women and men should be in the workforce, both of them should be skilled. So he's telling you focus on these things. First, education, obviously, healthcare, employment opportunities, infrastructure, so that you create a lot of opportunities, and gender empowerment. So if you do these things, we can easily convert this demographic dividend into economic dividend. So what is the crux of this article? The author is telling, because of population, we don't have to be worried. This population only, it is going to help us against US, Japan and China, because in these countries population is going down. In our country we are having population, and that population also is working age population. So economically we are going to do very well, like that the author is telling. Now let us move on to the next article. This article is about guidelines that NCPCR, that is National Commission for Protection of Children, NCPCR has recently issued guidelines. Now let us see what these guidelines are. So it has recently issued some guidelines. What the guideline is for conducting preliminary assessment. What is this preliminary assessment? You should know. So I'll give you a brief background. Do you remember the Nirbhaya rape and murder case? So one of the accused was a juvenile, that is he was around 17 years. So the court decided that it cannot try him as an adult, and he was just sent to a juvenile home. And within a year, he reached 18 years and he was just left off. So then the government set up Justice Verma committee. In that, what Justice Verma is telling is, if the crime is very serious, so if the crime is serious and if the person has crossed 16 years itself, you try them as adult. No need for them to be tried as adult only if they cross 18. If they have crossed 16 and if the crimes are very serious, you try them as adult itself. So here what we are going to see is how to assess if that person can be tried as a child or as an adult. So let's say he has done some crime, he is just 16 years old. Now how to assess? We are going to try him as a small boy, child, or as an adult. For that only NCPCR has released guidelines. So preliminary assessment, how? By the Juvenile Justice Board. So this Juvenile Justice Act 2015, this is a very important act. It creates Juvenile Justice Board. So this board will decide if that accused child can be tried as a child itself or will he be tried as an adult. So see, preliminary assessment, why? Here they will decide if the juvenile can be tried as an adult. How do we decide? How are we going to try this child? So we have three types of offenses. If the offense is petty offense, he will still be tried as a child. Even if it is a serious offense, he is still going to be tried as a child. But if the crime is heinous offense, he or she will be tried as an adult. So let us see how the Act plans to do this. So section 15 of the JJ Act, what it says, heinous offense, if the person is above the age of 16, board is going to do a preliminary assessment and see how his mental and physical capacity is. And they'll analyze his mental capacity and see if the child understood the consequences of the crime that he did. So if mentally is also is fine, if he's physically also is fine, and mentally he understood the nature or the seriousness of the crime, then he'll be tried as an adult only. So that was section 18 of the Act says. So after preliminary assessment, which will be done according to section 15, the board will tell, see, this person, he mentally is also is fit, physically also is fit, and he knew the consequences also. So you try him as an adult itself, like that they will tell. Then what the board will tell, then they will transfer the case to the children court. There they will proceed with the case. So this is the section 15 and section 18 of the Juvenile Justice Act. So what are the responsibilities of the Juvenile Justice Board? This board is very important because they will only decide if the person can be tried as a child or as an adult. So preliminary assessment they are only going to do. This board will have one member who is a practicing professional who will know about children's psychology and psychiatry. So this person should be a member of this board. So if this person is not available, then what you should do? We should get assistance of psychologists who have experience of working with people like this. So there might be a lot of psychologists who specialize in working with slum children or children who do not have parents, those things. And what are the other help that the child will get? He'll get help through the District Legal Services Authority. So this authority will be present during the assessment when the board is assessing the child, whether this child is mentally and physically fit. When the child is being assessed, this District Legal Service Authority will be present. So for all these people, for this authority, for the psychiatrist and board members, JJ Act says these people should regularly undergo training. And what will happen? One person, social worker or a probationary officer, what he'll do, he'll submit something called as social investigation report. What this investigation report will tell is, it will tell about the family background of the child, why this child committed all these crimes, everything this social investigation report will give. With this, the board members will analyze what is the future course of action, like that they'll analyze using the social investigation report. So this is the NCPCR guidelines. So what is the road ahead? NCPCR has statutory obligation, that is they have lawful obligation, that is through Act itself they have this obligation to ensure that children get all these facilities. But what is happening? Neither the Juvenile Justice Board nor the Children's Court, both of them are not following this guidelines. So NCPCR must make sure that child rights are not taken lightly, and whatever legal aid that they are supposed to get through law, they should get. So NCPCR should make sure that these things are happening for children. Now let us move on to the next article. This article is about Rajasthan government trying to bring a new legislation. So what is this legislation called? It is called the Rajasthan Platform Based Gig Workers Registration and Welfare Bill. So why they are doing this is, in Rajasthan in the next 6 months we are going to have elections, and a lot of Rajasthani people, like close to 3 lakh people, are working in the gig economy sector, that is like Swiggy, Zomato, people who use these platforms, and workers, delivery persons. So this bill is targeting them. So the government is trying to bring a law which will help them. See, this bill has very stringent provisions. Aggregators, who are aggregators? Swiggy, Zomato, these people are aggregators. So if they are not following this law, what this law proposes to do is, it says we can even ban them from operating in the state. So this is a very strict law. And what else they are planning to have? They are planning to set up Rajasthan Platform Based Gig Workers Welfare Board. So this board will have a lot of powers, and if aggregators are not following certain laws, they will be punished. So this board will be like a mother for over, see how many people are for 3 lakh people, 3 lakh persons are working. So for close to 3 lakh people, this board will work as a mother. So they'll have welfare policies, and whatever grievances the workers have, it will be looked into. So here we are telling here grievances of the workers hired on a piece rate basis. What is piece rate basis? How Swiggy, Zomato and all giving salary to their people? Piece rate basis means for every one item made. Here how they are given salary for every one item that is delivered. So if you are given salary based on piece rate system, it is called piece rate basis. So if the workers are having any problem, this board will hear their grievances. Next, what the law is telling, what the bill proposes to do is all platform based gig workers, so in which company they are working does not matter, they'll be registered with the board. And for how long they have worked, that also does not matter. For 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, does not matter, they'll still be a part of the registered member of the board. And they'll be given unique ID card. This ID card will be valid for 300 years. And the CM has already given 200 crores for the board to start its work, because 3 lakh people are employed, right? So we should do something good for them. And they are having something called a social welfare corpus. So if something happens to the delivery persons, from this corpus they'll take money and give for their welfare. So right now, what is the quantum of cess that every aggregator has to pay? So Swiggy, Zomato, they'll have to pay some amount of money to their corpus, but right now what amount they have not told, they are discussing it. But right now what they are telling, this cess will be a percentage of every transaction. So even if one delivery is made, let's say a delivery is there for 100 rupees, from that the board will say 10 paise should go to the corpus. So right now they have not decided, but this is what the system is going to be. And the law says, if you're not following this, then 10 lakhs also fine we will put on you, to the aggregators they are telling. So, and what else they are expected to do, these aggregators, the board is telling, you give all the data of the gig workers. So data of gig workers that you have, you should integrate it with our board. Next, they are telling to the board, you should share data of every transaction that is taking place in your platform. If you don't do all this, 1 crore fine, or we will not allow you to operate in our state. Like this bill is telling. And one peculiar problem they are having, that is, right now in many act, if you take, they'll talk about employer-employee relationship. But what these aggregators, Wiki, Zomato, what they are using the word partners. They are not telling we are employers, they are employees. They are not telling they are delivery employees. They are telling they are partners. So because of that, what is happening? A lot of laws are not applicable to this partners. So the bill is going to change this, and the board will have a lot of social welfare policies for gig workers. So it is planning to do all those things, but right now it has got nothing for gig workers. Right now, whatever their grievances, nothing will be done. In the next few months, it is expected that something tangible will come out of this bill. Let us move on to the next topic. This topic is about a ransomware called Lockbit. So why is this in news? Because recently a ransomware called Lockbit is targeting Mac devices. So Apple devices it is targeting. This is very new, right? Because generally Apple devices cannot be targeted. But what has happened? The cyber criminals have developed new encryptors. So with this encryption only they can target these devices. So what devices they are targeting? This is the Mac OS devices, that is iMac and those things. So this is the first major ransomware. Ransomware means they'll attack your computer and they'll lock it, and only they'll ask for ransom, that is money, and only if you give money they'll release your device. So that is why it's called ransomware. And this is the first major ransomware operation that specifically targets Apple computers. So sometime back what they did, this Lockbit gang, they attacked UK postal services. Because of that, what happened, international shipping itself came to a halt. So they are that powerful. So now let us know more about this ransomware. This is called the ABCD virus. Why it is called ABCD virus? Because the file extension of this virus, this will have .abcd. So that is why it is called ABCD virus. And they are also called as crypto virus, because once they attack and encrypt your device, they'll ask ransom in crypto. Only if you pay in crypto, they will decrypt your device. And how they are recruiting members? They are also recruiting because they need talent, right? So how they are recruiting their members? They'll use dark web. And if you refuse to pay money, what they'll do? they will release data of victims. So whatever data, even if it is private data, financial data, everything they will release if we refuse to pay money. So why they are targeting Mac OS? Because historically they were just targeting Windows, Linux, VMware, ESXi, because these are all a bit easy to target. But Lockbit is the first encryptor to specifically target Mac. How did they do it? They were just doing an experimental run. It was not a ready to use software, but somehow they hacked few systems. So this gang, now what is this gang called? Lockbit gang. They are still developing tools to target Mac OS, because if you attack Apple systems only, you will get more money. Here also you'll get money, but if you attack Apple, more money, right? So now they are developing software to attack Mac OS. So how does this ransomware work? It is a self-spreading software. That is, once it enters the file, you don't have to give them additional instruction. And what will happen, they are in the .png format. If they are in the .png format, it is very difficult to detect. Even the security systems cannot detect them. So that is their advantage. How do they get the credentials? They use phishing attacks. That is, they either call you and get your details, or through mail, or they'll impersonate trusted personnel or authorities. They'll say, we are calling from this bank. Like that they'll ask, and they'll get the credentials. Once they get the credentials, what they'll do, they'll encrypt as many as files and devices possible. Then if the encryption happens, what will happen? The security program and all will get disabled. Once this gets disabled, what will happen? Other security infrastructure that is inside your device cannot do data recovery. Only this ransomware encryption tool will work. So this is what they are saying here. Then they'll using an encryption, they'll lock all files. So this can be unlocked only by using a custom key that is created by the Lockbit gang. So how will they give that key? Only if you pay them money, they'll give you that key. Only with that key you can decrypt the file again. So let us know more about the gang. It is a very notorious gang. It is the most prolific ransomware group ever. And see, this is you see the word ransomware as a service model. So this is very important term. What is ransomware as a service model? The software to get extortion through cyber attacks. So what is the model? So already this Lockbit, they have created this software. Then what will happen? You will have willing parties that will give them some money and use this Lockbit and attack other systems. So this people who are using Lockbit, they'll get 3/4, and the Lockbit developers, they'll get 1/4 of the ransomware amount. So this is the model. So where are they attacking from? Right now people think they are from Russia and Central Independence State, that is Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, because so far they have not attacked these countries. They are just targeting Europe, US, like that. So they generally think they are from Russia, because there only you can escape punishment. Okay, so how can we protect us from this ransomware, Lockbit ransomware? First thing is strong passwords. You should have strong passwords with variations of special characters, and they should not be easy to guess. And obviously multi-factor authentication. Next, what they are telling you, train your employees. You tell them how phishing attacks will be there. You educate them so that they'll know this is all cyber attacks. Then they're telling stop, throw away old and unused user accounts. They're telling either deactivate or delete them, because only through them attacks will happen. So they're telling if you do all these things, you can safeguard yourself from cyber attacks. So this is what this thing is. So in the exam they might ask what is Lockbit, or how they work, or which one do they attack more. Do they attack Windows or Mac OS? Like that they might ask. So you remember this Lockbit. Now let us go to previous year question. Doctors Without Borders. So who are they? Like that they have asked. They even got prestigious international prizes. So who are they? They are non-governmental international organization. Now this one is a sitter. What is Satyashodak Samaj? It is an anti-caste movement in Maharashtra. Who started it? Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. He started it. It was his organization. And the Montagu-Chelmsford proposals were related to, this one is also a sitter, very easy question. Those were constitutional reforms. Gadgil committee report and Kasturi Rangan committee report sometimes seen in the news are related to. This one is also a very easy one. It is protection of Western Ghats. So that's all for today. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, you can comment, subscribe and share it among your friends. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again. Thank you.